a hard act to follow. Those of you who don't know, Texas has 1,200 miles of the 2,000 miles of the border between the United States and Mexico. We are the ones bearing the brunt of this crisis. You've heard it from all my colleagues. Our communities are bearing the brunt of millions of illegal crossings over the last 3 years. Actually, it's been a lot longer than that, but it's been under the Biden administration exaggerated really badly. Let's be clear. This is a man-made problem. It's just that simple. The consequences of an open border are not just of a force of nature. They are the results of decisions made in Washington, and it's time for some accountability and prioritizing Americans and Texans' community and safety. How's that for a novel idea? We cannot ignore the consequences of Biden's choices, and that is precisely what our great Governor Abbott is doing. And folks, I love what Governor Abbott's doing. I think he ought to send Biden a letter. When Biden says stand down, he ought to send Biden a letter, as Brenda's grandmother used to say, with 3 words. Well, 4 actually. Go butt a stump. That's what Biden ought to be hearing from Governor Abbott. But Governor Abbott's doing the right thing. He's taking the bull by the horns. He's prioritizing safety. You know, I think I want to go back to some history. We talked about Thomas Jefferson here a while back. Here's the fact. The 13 colonies, then the 13 states were in existence before the federal government. The federal government didn't establish the colonies or the states. The states established the federal government. Sometimes we forget that. I think the Supreme Court got it wrong, 5-4. Maybe we ought to tell them to go butt a stump, but I don't want to do that in national camera. Well, anyway, the 10th Amendment is in place. It says all rights remain to the people that are not enumerated in the Constitution. President Biden, step aside. Get out of the way. Stop your war on Texas for doing the right thing. It's such a very simple job, and yet he refuses to do it. Mr. President, you picked the wrong state to mess with. You picked the wrong governor to mess with, and quite frankly, you picked the wrong state delegation to mess with. Pick up the phone, instruct your appointees to secure the border, Mr. President. And it's been said here, enough's enough. Don't mess with Texas. And with that, I will yield to my good friend Nathaniel Moran.